Good morning. We're going to begin by singing our opening hymn, We Gather Together, hymn 349 in the Gray Hymnal. This song expresses our theme this month of nurturing gratitude. So let's rise in body and spirit and begin together. We're so glad that you are here, just as you are, with all that you love and all that has brought you to this space. I'm Reverend Joyce, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Joining me this morning in worship are Lindsay, our Director of Religious Education, Tim, our Music Director and our talented choir, Sandy is our worship associate this morning, and Autumn, our office manager, is running tech for us today. If you are in person, do join us for coffee hour after the service. Our racial and economic justice team are providing hospitality. If you are online, do like, comment, and share this worship service with others. If this is your first time worshiping with us, whether online or in person, we are thrilled that you are here. Let us know who you are so that we can be in touch.
Hi, I'm Sandy Campbell, Major, United States Air Force, retired. My pronouns are, thank you, she, her, and Major. We gather today in the ancestral lands of the Ho-Chunk and Potawatomi peoples. We are in deep gratitude for the privilege of being on this sacred ground. This land, this nation, our faith, and our lives are shaped by a complex history of oppression, freedom, resistance, migration, conflict, justice, and hope. From these intertwined legacies, we learn, reflect, seek healing, offer gratitude, and strive to create a world that will reflect the choices we make for future generations. We gather today for worship, and as we gather, we join in our sacred ritual. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our faith, a beacon of truth, a fire for justice, a warmth for the soul. Galen just celebrated his 10th birthday. He has a 3D printer and is making stuff. Let us speak together the covenant of our church. Love is the spirit of this church, and reason is its guide, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and freedom, and
to serve human need. This is our covenant.
Now let us sing our chalice response song.
As we settle into our time together, we share the prayers of the people, the naming of joy and sorrow, the holding in hearts of those we love. We hold in our hearts all those recovering from illnesses and experiencing maladies of body or soul. May mercy and healing attend them. I invite you in this space to name those aloud or in your heart who are on your mind this morning. In the spirit of community and connection, I invite you to greet one another at this time. The words for our invocation are inspired by Reverend Kathleen McTeague from her collection, Shine and Shadow. Spirit of life, you who move through sunlight and shadow, through the breath of morning and the lush of evening, be with us now. We come in a spirit of gratitude for this day we did not build, for this circle of companions, for the chance, once again, to begin. May the gratitude that fills our hearts spill over into loving kindness. May the blessings we receive become the blessings that we share. Let our awareness widen until we feel our belonging in the great web of life. Each breath given and received, each act of care, a quiet prayer. For all that sustains, for all that challenges, for all that invites us to grow, we give thanks. May this hour be our song of thanksgiving for the gift of being alive. Come, let us worship together.
Cedo kanamacho, cedo kanamacho, cedo kapo kanamacho, cedo kanamacho, cedo kanamacho, cedo kapo kanamacho, maro jamile, maro jamile, maro maro
I'm Lindsay, your Director of Religious Education. My pronouns are she and her. Working with our children and youth this morning are Rose in the nursery, myself and Kim with the 1st through 6th graders, and Ashley with the youth group. Our story this morning is The Way to Start a Day by Bird Baylor. The way to start a day is this: go outside and face the east and greet the sun with some kind of blessing or chant or song that you made yourself and keep for early morning. When you feel the sun, you'll feel the song too. Just sing it. But don't think you're the only one who ever worked that magic. The way to make the song is this: don't try to think what words to use until you're standing there alone. Your ancestors knew what to do. They sang to help the sun come up and lifted their hands to its power. A morning needs to be sung to. A new day needs to be honored. People have always known that. Didn't they chant at dawn in the sun temples of Peru? And leap and sway to Aztec flutes in Mexico? And drum sunrise songs in the Congo? And ring 1,000 small gold bells in China? Didn't the pharaohs of Egypt say the only sound at dawn should be the sound of songs that please the morning sun? They knew what songs to sing. People always seemed to know, and everywhere they knew what gifts the sun wanted. In some places they gave gold, in some places they gave flowers, in some places sacred smoke blown to the 4 directions. Some places feathers and good thoughts, some places fire. But everywhere they knew to give something, and everywhere they knew to turn their faces eastward as the sun came up. Some people still know. When the first pale streak of light cuts through the darkness, wherever they are, those people make offerings and send strong, mysterious songs to the sun. They know exactly how to start the day. Their blessings float on the wind over Pueblo cornfields in New Mexico, and you hear their morning songs in villages in Africa. And they salute the sunrise ceremonially in the high, cold mountains of Peru. Today, long before dawn, they were already waiting in Japan with prayers, and they were gathering at little shrines in India with marigolds in their hands. They were bathing in the sacred Ganges River as the sun came up. And high on a mesa edge in Arizona, they were holding a baby toward the sun. They were speaking the child's new name so the sun would hear and know that child. It had to be sunrise, and it had to be that first sudden moment. That's when all the power of life is in the sky. Some people say there is a new sun every day, that it begins its life at dawn and lives for one day only. They say you have to welcome it. You have to make the sun happy. You have to make a good day for it. You have to make a good world for it to live its one day life in. And they say, and the way to start, they say, is just by looking east at dawn. When they look east tomorrow, you can too. Your song will be an offering. And you'll be one more person in one more place at one more time in the world saying hello to the sun, letting it know you are there. If the sky turns a color sky never was before, just watch it. That's part of the magic. That's the way to start a day. And if you'll join us in singing the first verse of This Little Light of Mine, we'll head downstairs.
I hope that you subscribe to the Kairos, our weekly newsletter. Please be sure to read it for announcements about upcoming events and activities. This week I want to highlight that our Music Sunday is on December 7th. The choir will share with us a reflective choral piece celebrating the winter solstice and the turning of the light. I also invite you to take a look at our mail tree in the narthex and select an ornament to buy a gift for participants in the program. MELD guides young parents in building a strong family by providing shelter, education, and life skills training. Each month, we'll be highlighting the activities of one of our Faith in Action teams. For November, that is our Eco Justice team, and so I want to invite a member of the team to come forward and tell you what they are doing.
Good morning. My name is Barb Basai. My pronouns are she and her. The Racial and Economic Justice team would like to thank everyone who came to our wonderful Wednesday last week. This morning, we would also like to highlight one of our partners, UU Ministry for the Earth. This year, UU MFE is doing a common read of the book, What If We Get It Right? By Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson. This book is broken up into a series of sections and interviews with leaders from all different backgrounds as they wonder what the climate future can look like if we get things right. There's a monthly Zoom call, a book discussion, on the last Tuesday of the month at 6:45 p.m. And the next one is this coming Tuesday, November 25th. You can sign up to join the discussion on their website. We now take up an offering to support the work of justice and mercy in the world. 80% of what's collected today will go to UU MFE. Thank you for your generosity. The offering will be given and most gratefully received.
I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. I'm going to begin with a poem by Mary Oliver that's in the back of our gray hymnal. It's number 536, if you want to read along with me. Every morning the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heaped ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth on which are printed islands of summer lilies. If it is your nature to be happy, you will swim along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. And if your spirit carries within it the thorn that is heavier than lead, if it's all you can do to keep on trudging, there is still somewhere deep within you a beast shouting that the earth is exactly what it wanted. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray. Let us breathe into this morning, this soft, surprising gift we did nothing to earn. Let us meet the world not with requests, but with openness, with a gratitude that rises quietly, the way light slips between branches, the way hope returns without asking permission. Let us name our joys without hesitation and our grief without apology. For both are faithful companions in a life that keeps unfolding. May we greet this day with the honesty of our whole selves, the tenderness of being awake, and the courage to let wonder find us right where we are. And may the simple mercy of morning remind us again that to be alive, even in our longing, even in our healing, is its own deep blessing. Blessed be, and amen.
I hope you have taken the opportunity to explore gratitude this month from Soul Matters. I am grateful to have good health, independence with the ability to drive a car, move freely about my apartment without assistance. My family is well and happy. Life is good. All the people in my life who have encouraged me to live a full life, and they bring me joy today. There are so many of these people, opportunities that have affected my life. I am not 30. I am not 40. I am not even 60. I have lived a long and essentially uneventful life. The people, the events that have made me who I am today makes me grateful for my life. As I think about these people who have been in my life, lots of those, the closest is family. The things I've done during my life, lots of that too. Schooling, waitressing, military, mother, teaching PE. I know that's not teaching, it's play. Yes, it is. Office assistant, volunteer. The places I've lived too many to count. What's changed during my life? Too much? Maybe not enough. In this mental journey to make a point about gratitude that speaks to you, testimonial stuff, I found actual events are meaningless if they don't make a difference in how I actually do my life. Many of those events occurred after I returned to Rockford after the death of my mother-in-law, my mother, my husband, my brother-in-law. It's time to return home. Since losing people is an impactful thing for my life, of all the things I miss in my life, the people cannot be replaced. Who were these people I have lost? Who are the people you have lost? Dads, appreciation for tools, hard work, pays off. Mom, cookies. My husband, caring for everyone, best friend. Brother-in-law, safe, fair, retired police officer, and very funny. Mother-in-law, a soft place to land, no judgment. My brother, loving father. My sister, giver of self. My second sister, loving teacher for life. So many people are being added to the life I live up and into today. They are all here. I carry them. I am Omega in my family, and I carry them gratefully. Let us stand now and sing hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken.
Our first reading is from The Way of Gratitude, a new spirituality for today by Galen, Guengerich. Gratitude is the practice of radical openness to whatever comes our way, whether for good or ill. It's a way of living that understands the meaning of our lives in terms of our relationships to the people and world around us. The practice of gratitude enables us to not only embrace the good experiences in our lives, but also to endure the difficult experiences and to seek to transform them. It points the way from what is present to what is possible. If we are fortunate, the people and world around us have given us what we need to develop physical and emotional maturity. We become spiritually mature as we realize what we owe in return. Whenever our vast array of relationships includes experiences of pain, life invites us to be grateful for what we have been given and to be agents of healing and hope. When these relationships are beneficial and beautiful, we find ourselves experiencing what Carl Dennis calls the happiness that can't be earned. The spiritual term for this kind of happiness, in my view, is joy. Our second reading is a poem, Welcome Morning by Anne Sexton. There is joy in all, in the hair I brush each morning, in the cannon towel, newly washed, that I rub my body with each morning, in the chapel of eggs I cook each morning, in the outcry from the kettle that heats my coffee each morning, in the spoon and the chair that cry, "Hello there, Anne," each morning, in the Godhead of the table that I set my silver plate cup upon each morning. All this is God, right here in my pea green house each morning. And I mean, though often forget, to give thanks, to faint down by the kitchen table in a prayer of rejoicing as the holy birds at the kitchen window peck into their marriage of seeds. So while I think of it, let me paint a thank you on my palm for this God, this laughter of the morning, lest it go unspoken. The joy that isn't shared, I've heard, dies young.
Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is a rising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is a rising. My soul, yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is a rising in my soul.
Day is breaking all around. I'm singing, sun is rising in my soul. I'm singing, day is breaking all around. I'm singing, sun is rising in my soul. I'm singing, day is breaking all around. I'm singing, sun is rising in my soul. Day is breaking, day is breaking. Singing, sun is rising in my soul.
Oh, yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is a rising in my soul. Day, day is a breaking. Sun is a rising in my soul.
Thank you, choir. Every new day begins before we're ready for it. The light edges in through the blinds. The alarm clock goes off. And something, call it spirit, call it habit, asks us to begin again. Bird Baylor, in The Way to Start a Day, the book we read for Story for All Ages, reminds us that morning is more than a clock's command. It is a ceremony. Ancient peoples once greeted the sun with songs, dances, smoke, and color, paying attention to the world's first light as if it were sacred, because it is. Every day, she writes, we are invited to start the day in our own way, to notice, to praise, to awaken with care. How different that sounds from the messages that scrolled past us before breakfast on our phones or other devices. 5 ways to optimize your morning, 3 ways to rewire success, 10 things to make you happier before 7 a.m. Wake before the sun, hydrate, take a cold shower, never gonna happen, plan the day's priorities, post something motivational, and call it progress. If you follow the internet's advice, you might believe a single misstep before 8 o'clock could throw the universe out of balance. These lists rarely mention gratitude. They speak of control, but never of awe. But once, in the Church of God in Christ congregation of my younger days, we began the morning differently. We sang, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." It wasn't a plan or a prescription. It was an eruption of joy, a full-body declaration that the day itself was gift enough. That little song has traveled with me across many years and many sanctuaries. Its rhythm still hums beneath the surface of my mornings, the music of gratitude, the practice of rejoicing in what is. Unitarian Universalist minister Galen Guengerich, in his book, The Way of Gratitude, captures the same spirit, but in quieter words. Gratitude is the gateway to meaning and joy in life. And so, before we speak of philosophy or practice, perhaps we begin simply by saying, this day is the one that we've been given. Let it be enough. Let it teach us joy, and let it start with thanks. Gratitude begins as perception. It's the art of noticing, the daily decision to see what was always there. It changes not the landscape, but the eyes that gaze on it. It alters our measurement of life from, do I have enough, to, what am I given right now? We learn early and often to scan for what's wrong, to fix, to improve, to prepare. That instinct keeps us alive, but it can also keep us small. Gratitude doesn't erase our longing for change, it balances it. It says, before we mend the tear, let us marvel at the cloth. A friend once told me about one of the hardest seasons of her life. Her husband had fallen ill, and the calendar became a blur of appointments, decisions, waiting rooms. In those long nights of worry, she started a tiny practice, a notebook beside the hospital bed. Every evening, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. Some nights, the list stretched easily. Other nights, she could think of just one: a nurse's kindness, a flash of color through the window, a cup of coffee that gave her courage. Still, she kept writing. Months later, turning those pages, she could trace her own transformation. What began as discipline had become devotion. Her outer world hadn't shifted much, but the inner one had. The habit of giving thanks had taught her how to see again. There's a humility to gratitude. It reminds us we are participants, not owners. recipients of breath and sunlight and of one another. To say thank you is to recognize relationship itself as sacred. It's a quiet surrender to interdependence, a yielding and a yes. And from that yes, new sight is born. Joy is less an emotion we chase than a state of insight that we grow into. It unfolds from understanding that it's all joy, the kind of understanding that gratitude makes possible. Gratitude enlarges our vision. It frames the relationship between self and world, and when we practice it, we re-educate the mind to notice connection instead of isolation. We notice our gifts instead of entitlements, and presence instead of absence. When we shift our awareness, we can find joy. Throughout history, spiritual teachers and philosophers have described this link between gratitude and sight. The ancient Stoics taught that serenity arises not from getting what we want, but from aligning our desire with what we already have. Joy, they said, is the wisdom of harmony, seeing reality and saying yes to it. Across centuries and continents, another tradition was exploring the same truth through a very different language. In the Blue Cliff Record, a classic collection of Zen teaching, the Quan instructs, don't misuse your mind, don't say there isn't anything extraordinary here. I love that picture of the baby saying that. Though brief, that sentence carries a theology of gratitude all its own. It reminds us that the extraordinary is always present, hidden inside the ordinary. The misuse of the mind, the Zen suggests, is to look past the miracles that are right in front of us. For Unitarian Universalists, these sayings function like poetry or parable. They don't tell us what to believe, they awaken the capacity to see, to question assumptions, to notice the sacred in everyday moments, to hold mystery with openness rather than certainty. The Stoic sage, the Zen master, the modern-day psychologist say much the same thing. Gratitude is training for seeing the world anew. It short-circuits our habit of dissatisfaction and returns us to the awareness of presence. In that clarity, joy is born. Joy is not luck, it is learning to pay attention. When Galen Guengerich calls gratitude the gateway to meaning and joy, he's stating both a theology and a psychology. The theology is simple. When we see life as a gift, we re-enter relationships with the sacred whole. And psychology follows. Such awareness produces the sensation of joy because it reconnects the self to a reality larger than self-interest. Gratitude is training in that reconnection, and joy is its evidence. Maybe this is why even a small expression of thanks carries great power. It can create a worldview. To say thank you is to affirm interdependence. It is to claim intellectually and spiritually that we are not individual units of achievement, but beings sustained by grace in its many forms. From this awareness, joy arises and helps us embrace an understanding that life itself, however imperfect, is a gift worth valuing. So if gratitude trains the mind to see, its deeper work is reconnection. It draws us back from the narrow orbit of self into a larger field of belonging. To live gratefully, to live relationally are the same thing. It is to understand that everything from breath to memory to joy arrives through a network of giving and receiving. Gratitude heals the illusion of separation. It tells us that we are not alone on this spinning earth. We are part of the same circulation of gift. We often forget that our connection, we lose our footing in the daily noise, and we look up one morning to realize how far we've drifted from wonder, from one another, and from the quiet pulse of enoughness. I made that word up. This is where practice begins again. When we remember we are connected, when we practice the discipline of turning to one another, each time we give thanks, we find our way back to trust, back to presence, back to connection itself. There are times when it feels impossible to speak the language of gratitude, when our hearts are heavy with grief and we cannot see how the world will ever right itself again. And still we gather. We gather because something in us believes that gratitude is possible, even here, even now, in this tender place between hope and weariness. In this very room, we hold the stories of so many kinds of days, the days of joy, the days of loss, and the days that simply drifted by unnoticed. And we hold them together. This is part of the practice. We help one another remember with gratitude what it sounds like when a single voice feels too small to sing it alone. Someone's laughter reminds us. Someone's tears deepen the space. Someone's silence becomes its own prayer. And gratitude breathes through all of it and invites us to just breathe. We remember to give thanks is not to declare that everything is fine. It is to declare that despite everything, life is still holy. That there is still beauty worth our notice, still kindness worth our naming, and still love worthy of our trust. And so even now, especially now, we give thanks. We give thanks for the strength that carries us one step further, for the hands that pass the light, for the hearts that stay open, even when the world feels fragile. We give thanks, and in that act, we remember who we are. We are a people of resilience, a people of reverence, a people of gratitude. We arrive at the end of this reflection today, the way morning light arrives, reminding us to begin again. We spent time this morning remembering another way to begin the day, not the way the world tells us, master your morning, optimize your time, rise and conquer, but the quieter way, the sacred way. The way of gratitude describes morning not as a race to be won, but as a moment to be received. We're invited to use simple disciplines, light a candle, turn a send timer, meditate, sit in silence and breathe. Do these not to perfect yourselves, but to remember each new dawn is a gift, and our task is simply to meet it fully awake. When I start my day off mindfully, I notice I have more patience with myself and with others. There is more space in my mind and heart for paying attention to the small joys of life, the color of the sky, the warmth of a cup in my hands, the sound of a friend's voice. The practice of pausing at the start of the day reminds me that each day is truly a gift. Perhaps you've had similar practices once, or maybe today can be the beginning of a practice. It doesn't have to happen every morning, and it doesn't have to look the same every day. We are invited to be faithful, not perfect, to turn again and again toward gratitude. Through such small practices, we learn to meet the morning as holy ground, to open rather than to seek to control, to trust that presence itself is enough. Gratitude has traced the path for us today, moving from singing to joy, from thinking to belonging, and from solitude back into connection. It calls us one more time to turn toward life, waiting just beyond these walls, the rustle of the leaves, the sound of voices, and the steady rhythm of our own breath. May we carry with us the simplest ritual, to pause, to notice, and to whisper thanks. In a moment, we'll sing We Give Thanks, a song that gathers all of our reflections into one offering. Its melody reminds us that gratitude is not static. It moves outward toward life and toward each other. As we ready ourselves to sing, imagine the flame of our chalice, the one first kindled, the light to light the path towards safety and freedom, and see it burning steady, casting its glow across faces around you. That same light lives within each of us, and with each act of gratitude, it guides us. It kindles hope. It is the living reminder to give thanks again and again and again. Let us rise now in body and spirit to sing together We Give Thanks, hymn number 1010 in your teal hymnal. That's letter T's. And now Sandy will extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, which we carry until we are together again. I invite you to join hands for our closing blessing. If touch is uncomfortable for you or private, please keep your hands where they are, trusting that others will respect your choices. And the words of our benediction are number 682 from the Navajo Indian tradition. Beauty is before me and beauty behind me. Above me and below me hovers the beautiful. I am surrounded by it. I am immersed in it. In my youth, I am aware of it. And in my old age, I shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. In beauty it is begun, in beauty it is ended. Now let us sing our closing blessing.